back. Welcome to the False 9 TV channel, where today we are doing another installment of Like It, Love It, Leave It. So today we are obviously talking about USA's pretty impressive victory, 3-1 over Venezuela, and we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, what we liked, what we loved, and what we can leave. But before we get into that, today's question on today's video: if you were in charge of the US Soccer Federation, or at least a high-level job, right? Would you continue to have Camp Cupcake? Do you think it's necessary? Would you do away with it completely? Would you just leave it as is? Or if you would make some changes, what would you make? I'm interested to hear your opinion in the comments, and at the end of the video, I will tell you mine. So let's get into the first topic of liking. What I liked about today's game, other than the fact that it was 3-1, was the fact that we got to see Jack McGlynn pretty much shine. At the starting lineup, you could tell that he was, you could make an argument he was probably the best player on the field before the game started, and you could definitely make an argument, if you weren't there yet, that he was the best player on the field once the game started. His decision making was pretty good. I mean, yes, he had his flaws. He's still young. He still plays in MLS, but today he shined. And if you have not, if you missed today's game, please just do yourself a favor. Go look at his goal that he scored today. That may legitimately end up being the best goal we'll see a player for the USA score all year with the jersey on. I mean, it was that good. I mean, when he kicked that, I said a few positive curse words. It was awesome to see him shine today. I think if you knew his game, I think you all expected it, but just to see it actually before our eyes, it was just awesome. And not to put a damper on it, I do wonder what's going to happen with his career moving forward. He's got a new head coach. How's that going to go? I don't know. I would just love to see him make the move as quickly as possible. I mean, would I love to see it this month? Of course I would. But we'll see what happens. But for now, let's just enjoy it. So what did I love? So one of the privileges to Camp Cupcake is, if you are a Euro snob like myself and you don't watch MLS, you get to see guys that you know very little about, or sometimes you don't even know anything about. And you sometimes get to see them just do really good, like just surprise you. In today's game, it was, and forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, Agimong, the Charlotte FC guy. I think he moved. Trust me, he's not going to win any foot races anytime soon with a lot of midfielders. But he was just bulldozing defenders and just carrying them. It was like he was carrying them on his back. It was really cool to see, and only in Camp Cupcake do you get to see things like this. And this is one of the things I like about Camp Cupcake in the January window games, which I'll get into again a little bit at the end of the video with my question. But today, I just love to see these guys surprise me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. If this game would have been in Texas like last year, I definitely would have been there. And compare this game to last year's game, I found myself just watching and invested a lot more than I did last year. Of course, maybe some of that has to do with Pooch and his style, but you know, I digress. Now, the negative Nancy's favorite part of the video, the leave it section, which, and I hate to do it because I know anyone else is probably doing this too, but it's Meshvik and Pooch's decision to start him and leave him in the game for as long as he did. Yes, he did score, but that, if you're just looking at the line, that's not at all what happened. He essentially was arguing over a penalty at the very start of the game, in which he ended up getting. I don't know what the situation there was. I don't know if there's a set penalty taker. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen Pooch's post-game conference, so I don't really know what happened there. But either way, he grabbed the ball and ended up taking the penalty, and it was one of the worst penalties I've ever seen in my life. I I was talking to my wife at the time, and I was pointing to the screen. I'm just like, his body language is literally, he's going to kick it right there. And if I could see that from my view, I know good and well the goalkeeper could read it like a book. So, and then throughout the game, I don't know, he just didn't look sharp, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that, I mean, he got kicked off Newell's not too long ago, and I mean, that's not the first team he got kicked off, and you don't know if you don't know his CF Montreal story, that's another thing to go look up. He got, yeah, I'm not even going to get into that. But moral of the story is, at first, I questioned it, yes. But I thought maybe Pooch knew something that we didn't. And frankly, I still believe that he knows something we don't. I think he's a bright mind. And I was really, really hoping for some Jermaine Jones type energy from him. I'm like, you know what? I can deal with technicality that's not there if he brings some spark, you know, some get in your face dog type of player, right? But I didn't even see that. I did not even see anything like that on the field. I just saw a guy who kind of played selfish and wasn't really sharp. And if it wasn't for that goal at the end of right before he got taken off, I think it would be even more worse than what it was. And for anyone who watched the full game, it still was pretty bad. So that's one of the things that I've got to hold Pooch accountable for. And it makes it even worse because it came at the expense of Diego Luna, who was one of the guys I was looking, other than McGlynn, probably the guy I was most excited to see play. And I don't know, maybe Luna was told beforehand that he's got the full second game. I don't know. We'll find that out in the next game. But that's also a little concerning to me that multiple coaches have kind of shunned Luna like this. If we don't see Luna play in the second game, I'm going to be even more concerned. But yeah, that's an odd situation. And if you have an opinion on that situation, I would also like to know in the comments. I'm not panicking yet, but if he doesn't play in the next game, then I'm going to start wondering what's really going on with that situation. Now, the answer to my Camp Cupcake question at the beginning of the video, and if you've not answered yet, pause right now and type your opinion on it if you were in charge, so my opinion does not sway you any. So, there is a 99.9% chance that the January camp and games will mean absolutely nothing. And guess what? That's fine with me. Because at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of the NFL. So if you're not a big NFL fan or your team's already out of the playoffs, guess what? It gave you something to do today. And when they played pretty well like they did today, it not only did it give you something to watch today, but it gave you something to enjoy today. So, you know, there are coaches, I mean, I've heard Jurgen Klinsmann talk about how he doesn't like Camp Cupcake, but I've also heard him, I think it was Jurgen, it may have been Bruce, I think it was Jurgen, to say that's where he found Jeff Cameron. But my argument is, if Jeff Cameron was as good as what he ended up being anyway, you would have eventually knew about him. You didn't need Camp Cupcake to show that. Did that help him? Perhaps, but we'll never know. But point being is, it doesn't have to mean anything, right? Now, there's always that 0.0001% chance that you just find a shining star, and this just puts a rocket on their career, sure. But in 20 years, we may see that one time, if we do see that one time. Moral of the story is, it's entertainment for us to do on a day, and we get to watch the USA play. So I don't like seeing players like Shaq Moore or Miles Robinson or Walker Zimmerman. I think make it a glorified make it under 25 camp or something. I don't know. But I still enjoy it. And for the most part, I say if you're going to change anything, maybe put an age cap on it. But I like it. So I'm interested to see what you think. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. It's small. It's just me at this point. I really, 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 really would love you if you did. And until next time, arrivederci, avientut, hasta mañana. Be safe.